Hey everybody, it's 9:30. It's Tuesday. It's time to go behind the hedges. I'm your host Mitch, and I'm here with a stranger, Mr. Ducati. Matt, where in the hell are you right now?
Well, I'm down in God's country. I was in Athens earlier this week. Now I'm in Hahira, Georgia.
Yeah. All right. Cool.
That one. This one.
Um,
This one.
Yeah.
Just a friendly reminder, we are still the 2021 Division I NCAA college football national champion, if you have forgotten.
I can't imagine why anybody would.
Some of our rival fan bases, it wouldn't surprise me if you had. But yeah, I'm on a vacation right now. And since I didn't have nothing to do and I wanted to get back to it, I decided to come back on the show as a special guest appearance tonight. Now,
before we
lift my arms.
Hold on, before we do that, I got to share something with the people at home. Got a little thing here for the people. You can find this on our Instagram page here, and you've probably already heard this, but real quick, here it goes. Let's get that volume turned on real quick. Man, we're a professional enterprise here.
Oh, it's big time right here, baby.
All right, here it goes.
I don't know who's going to be starting a quarterback. I have no idea because of all of those unknowns. But I do know that no matter what happens, you're going to have that contingency of the fan base, just like every other fan base, that is like, we're going to win a national title, right? And then the first time they have a bad game, they're going to be screaming for him. You know, there'll be people who, you know, like Stetson Bennett the fourth. There were people who thought that he wouldn't win a national title at Georgia.
Most of us thought that.
I know.
That's people don't exist.
That's for Ducati, who's not here. I don't.
So I didn't know if you got to see the Auburn preview the other night, but we had a little shout out for you, and I wanted to share that with you before we got into this thing. So, folks, we've been waiting for Matt to open this package for the longest time.
I'm gonna do it. Let me retort to that, though. I think I've made it clear that in the last 8 minutes of the national title game, Stetson totally redeemed himself. However, that don't change the fact that he's a fourth-string walk-on quarterback with a noodle arm who's going to run off future recruits, and the best choice is for him to not be at Georgia and have rode off into the sunset as a national champion.
Fair enough. All right, you've said your piece. Now open the package.
We'll let y'all know something right now if you're watching. I know that some of you got involved. If I see one orange thread of fiber in this package, I'm going to set this stream on fire. I will flatten Rocky Top with a sledgehammer. I will go to Auburn and burn down that toilet paper tree. And I will drain the swamp of Gainesville. So just keep it in mind.
All right, get it. Why don't you back up a little bit so we can see what you're doing here?
Wait a minute. I don't see no orange in here. Yeah. I like that, though. The same thing everybody else does. I don't know what you was expecting. This is nice as well. Who's number 13?
Turn it around.
You son of a bitch. Good.
All right, okay, put it on. Let's go. Come on. Suit up, baby. Suit up. Let's go.
There are no words for friends like this. You mealy mouth son of a bitches. You want me to put it on?
Yeah, put it on right now. I want to see it.
Oh my God. Oh my God. Why? You're just perpetuating the legend. I can't even look at it. All right, fine. Stetson, this is for you because, man, I'm going to give you props. That last 8 minutes, you brought a tear to my eye. God almighty.
Hey, you're putting tears in Warren's eyes right now.
All right. I
love it. Man, look at that. That is handsome. Man, whoo.
Hey, wait a minute. I think I'm going to put something else on, too. Check this one out.
Oh, that's very nice. That's
What
very
you
nice.
want, baby? All
Very
right.
nice.
Hey,
Wow.
you know what though? Real talk. Thank you.
Welcome.
I think I can bear this burden.
What was it? You will find solace in that vindication.
I can stomach this gag because the reward.
Oh, indeed, Tom. Indeed, go dogs. That's what I'm talking about.
Y'all still a bunch of some of my bitches though.
I heard that. And with that, let's do this thing.
I wake up every minute with the fever dreams. I push a mind to a limit where it needs to be. I work blind, got vision I don't need to see. I'm picking mind over matter, I believe in me. I need to find more hours in the day to breathe. Need to find more power in the way I be.
That was amazing. That was amazing. I need to throw this up there before we had it. Now he has to leave because it's the wife's birthday.
Hey, I got him a hat. I got him a hat I can send his way. I think I'm wearing it.
Bro, if he had a USPS hat, oh my God, can we please get that to happen? Holy cow. Nice. Man, oh man. Hey, welcome, gentlemen. We're joined tonight by Caleb the Great, as well as the illustrious, I believe the word was convivial, Dargan Ware, our resident hog right here. Oh man, I got to throw this note from Tidwell though. One time, for real, bro. That was classic. Man.
That was pretty great.
See, the thing is, he's been sitting on that package now for quite some time. And I said, bro, just don't open it. Just wait till we're on camera. And then his work schedule got screwed up. And then, he's not been on the show for the past few weeks. And I'm like, man, we got to get you on camera. And he's like, yeah, no. And then he's like, oh, I'm going on vacation. I'm leaving to go to Georgia. And I'm like, oh, crap, you're going to be able to get on? And he was like, man, I don't know. I have to find a connection. So he found a connection in some relative's garage, it looks like. So anyway, whatever, we finally got it. So that's it's all good. Anyway, let's get to business, man. We had a long intro there. I want to get down to brass tacks. Tonight we're talking Arkansas.
Woo pigs.
Woo pig. And in case you didn't see the Charlotte's Web thumbnail, it was a work of art, honestly. So first off, we're going to talk about what's changing at Arkansas. Yeah. So let me get organized here. It's like when the kids surprise you in the classroom and it's like my whole lesson plan is gone. You know what I mean? So what's changed? So Dargan, all right, talk us through it, man. Some things. So you guys are going to be losing some guys to the draft, graduation. Maybe transfers. I'm not even sure about that, but you also have guys coming in and recruiting and whatnot. So I'm just going to give you the floor. So let's hear it.
All right. Well, so our biggest loss is the best wide receiver in the SEC, Treylon Burks.
Facts.
Is going on to the pros. I think he'll be a top 15 draft pick, maybe conceivably top 10. But we'll see about that. Mm-hmm. But that's really our biggest loss. And then on defense, there are a couple of guys. Grant Morgan's graduating, heart and soul guy. Just glue of the defense. Hayden Henry's going on to the pros. But Bumper Pool's staying. I guess that should be in the next segment. And in the secondary, Joe Fouché transferred, I believe, to LSU, but we got a LSU defensive back in return as sort of a trade. We got McLaughlin. So, that should be basically a wash. Jalen Catalon is supposedly entirely healed. And that'll be a big difference in the secondary. Also coming in, we got Jaden Hazelwood from Oklahoma.
I was going to ask you. I was going to see how you're going to mitigate the loss of Burks, right?
Right, and I think Hazelwood will be a big part of that. And then we've got some young guys that just need to step up. I think Thompson's still there. He transferred from Florida State. Warren Thompson. At one point, we had the triple Warren offense. I think Tidwell will appreciate this because we had a guy whose first name was Warren Thompson, a guy whose last name was Warren, Davion Warren, and a guy from Warren, Arkansas, in Treylon Burks.
Nice. Well done.
So we've definitely lost one of those. The other two are still there. Like I said, Hazelwood's coming in. So that's the big thing that's changing, of course. And I don't know if you normally cover this in the in this segment, but the big difference this year is really our schedule. Our non-conference schedule is as difficult as I've ever seen it at Arkansas. Because
there's one game that I am especially looking forward to, and that's the Cincinnati game. Now I know that Cincinnati is probably going to be a notch below where they were last year. You know, they're losing some key elements, but they've been good. All right.
Absolutely.
Help me remember that the last 3 teams that beat Cincinnati were Alabama, Georgia, and Ohio State, right?
I think that's right.
Yeah, and so like that's a hell of a resume. All right, so these guys are doing work. All right,
that's over 2 years. Yeah,
right. And become a first group of 5 team to make it to the postseason. And you guys got them in a non-con game this year, so I think it's great. Exciting program versus exciting program. So I think that's a good matchup.
I think it's really going to say a lot about what kind of program Cincinnati has, right? Because the question is, did they have just a great class with Desmond Ridder and is it just that team that was really special? Or have they built something that they can keep up as a program?
Right. And we'll see, right?
And yeah, they show up in Fayetteville and if we don't do what we need to do and they look really good, then that'll say a lot about them as a program. And if we can take care of business, it'll say that we're still heading in the right direction.
Yeah, right on. Caleb, you got anything for Dargan about along the lines of what's changing here?
No, really. I know we talked a lot about Treylon Burks. The thing that I was thinking about changing, I know y'all lost a lot off of that defensive backfield too. And that's something I was really looking forward to. Y'all's defense was really good last year, minus that Ole Miss game. And, Ole Miss, they could score a lot of points. But that's a red flag in my opinion too. I still think Arkansas is going to be good, but the defensive backfield is something to watch out for in my opinion too. How do you feel about that?
Yeah.
I agree. I think, there's quite a bit of turnover, but we may end up not sure, not having gone through spring ball, who's going to be the starters back there. We may end up with 2 new starters who one of them's McLaughlin from LSU and the other transfer is, I think from South Florida, if I remember correctly. But both those guys were pretty good at their old schools and were highly recruited. And then the other thing that I think will help us a lot is Catalon coming back. Catalon is an NFL safety. He just is. Yeah. And if he can stay healthy, that will make a big difference.
Yeah. No,
he's really probably the most talented guy on that defense.
Okay. Dude, I'm excited to get on to the next portion of that. But before we do that, let's do this first. Hey everybody, welcome back to Behind the Hedges. Tonight we're talking Arkansas football and their upcoming season, and I'm joined tonight by Caleb the Great and Mr. Dargan Ware. So let's get into it and talk about what's going to stay the same at Arkansas.
I wake up every minute with the fever dreams. I push my mind to a limit where it needs to be. I work blind, got vision I don't need to see. I'm picking mind over matter, I believe in me. I need to find more hours in the day to breathe. Need to find more power in the way I be.
Hey boys, welcome back. It's been a long time since I've seen you. So moving right along.
I think our guys in the chat have hinted at the most important thing that's staying the same, which is of course Coach Pittman.
Indeed, without a doubt, yes.
Right. And, and not only Coach Pittman, but the coaching staff is essentially still together. There are going to be guys from this coaching staff who end up getting poached by big schools.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That didn't happen after the first really good year, so that's good. We can keep it together a little longer. And so I think that's the big thing as to what's staying the same.
I'll tell you another big thing too is Mr. Jefferson.
Yes, I was going to say, and then the other really important factor of what's staying the same is KJ. Now I didn't mention it in the what is not or what is changing, but we did lose our backup quarterback, who honestly never got much of a chance to do anything at Arkansas and didn't impress when he did. Malik Hornsby, he transferred. We got a walk-on from South Florida as maybe our backup now, or a guy that was a freshman last year. We had I'm drawing a blank on his name because he didn't play last year, but we had a red shirt last year, and he tore his ACL in practice.
Gotcha.
And so that is a difficult thing. If we were to lose KJ, that would be a big problem.
Well, that would make everybody sad, including me. But we hope you don't, because there's no way anybody's winning anything with a walk-on quarterback. We have learned that.
Fair enough.
Tidwell says Arkansas is doing things other teams are not. They're giving their coach time. Yeah. No kidding, dude. That's you said a lot there, brother.
Yep.
I wanted to say something. I saw this article the other day, and maybe you hang on a second. Somebody, how's our audio doing? Somebody out there in the chat world. Mikey says he's got no audio.
That's on my end. It's on the Twitch end. For some reason, y'all's mics ain't picking up in my feed, but it's all good.
Oh, okay. Hold on a second. Well, that's no good at all if we're shooting. Hold on a second.
It'll be all right.
How about now, Mikey? How about now? Can you hear me? Give me a thumbs up, Mikey, if you can hear me here. Anybody? I mean, we're obviously getting comments from Warren says we're all good here on YouTube. YouTube's looking good. Maybe
y'all good over here. They just talking away.
Okay, yeah, I don't know where Mikey and some of the others are trying to watch it, but anyway, we're going out on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter tonight, and everything sounds good to me. But then okay, Mikey says some people acknowledged it, but Caleb acknowledged it, but it looks like some people can hear it. Yeah, hey man, thanks for the heads up. Sorry about that. I'll trim all that stuff out of there. Sorry, Dargan, what the heck are you even talking about?
Well, we were talking about what's staying the same, and
okay,
Jefferson being at the center of that.
I saw this article I wanted to ask you about. It's no secret that college football attendance has sort of been drooping around the league. Some of your bigger programs, like for example Georgia and Alabama this past season, saw declines in attendance, but the decline was only just double digit numbers, not anything noteworthy, maybe 60 or 70 people fewer on average, something like that. But I have to find the article, but I think it said something like Arkansas showed a 14,000 fan increase. And I don't know if that was on average per game or if that was over the course of the season.
I would not be surprised if it was even on average, because obviously they're skipping the 2020 year if they're
right
doing that. And man, we were bad in 2019.
Sure.
We were really bad.
But that's an enormous number, considering that everybody's losing, and all of a sudden Arkansas is just like, is this the lightning in the bottle moment for the program? That
I think it could be. Now I was on campus in 1998 when Houston Nutt showed up. We won our first 8 games. We went to Tennessee to play number 1, And everybody said, if we win this game, we got a shot at the national championship. And I think that was true. And we went up there. We were ahead. We were basically running out the clock. And Sterner tripped and tried to balance himself on the ball. And we all found out that there are situations where the ground can cause a fumble.
Oh, woof.
And, you know, and we lost. And things sort of fell apart the rest of the season. But those first 8 weeks, it was insane. Like, we had never been any good at football before that, really. I mean, not since the Ken Hatfield years. And I think the energy around this team is like that. Now, obviously, the Right Reverend Houston Nutt did not keep up that his end of the bargain there.
Sure.
And I have confidence that Coach Pittman will, but it feels like that. It does. And, you know, before we, you know, Ducati was talking about it earlier before the show that even last year, before we got to Athens, you know, everybody was just sort of flabbergasted at how good we were.
Yeah, he said that he hoped now that Arkansas was off Georgia's schedule, he said he hoped that Arkansas could be the team that they were supposed to be last year when they were coming into Athens. Yeah, and,
of course we were only supposed to be that team for 2 weeks.
Right. Well,
right? Because
but there was. You know, there was a buzz, and
sure.
a lot of that's pro Arkansas, but a lot of that's anti Georgia too. You know what I mean? Like there's people
sure.
who've always liked to kick the dogs or whatever. But I like what Robert says here, and I want to point this out. Matt said he said that he hated to have to jet early tonight because Arkansas is his second favorite team. And I feel that way about Kentucky over the past few seasons. I've really enjoyed watching what Stoops has done with that program, from bringing them from a doormat to just incremental improvement every year. They're just very Spartan-like marching down the beach, you know, and they're getting tougher and tougher to beat, and they're starting to grow some teeth and some claws, those Wildcats, you know. So, but it's all because of what Robert's saying here. You know, these programs that don't give people time, you know, they don't give them time, and if you give somebody time and you get the right guy, you know, things will happen, you know.
Well, that's the thing. I mean, you got to get the right guy, because
step one, get the right guy.
Right, because I'm telling you, Chad Morris could have won a national championship, and Arkansas would not feel about him the way we feel about Sam.
Oh, absolutely not.
Because it just wasn't there. He wasn't. Right. I mean, I don't know what it was, but there was just a disconnect between the program and the coach. And so, yeah, we only gave him 2 years, but it was absolutely the right decision to go ahead and throw him overboard.
We got any questions coming in from Twitch? Caleb, is there anything that your people want to talk to us about?
On Twitch right now, they're singing songs, so I don't really know what the heck they got going on over here, man. I guess we're having audio issues over there, but they're sticking in here. We got 10 in the viewership right now. So if y'all got any questions, man, y'all let me know about Arkansas. They'll answer them for you. But no, not right now. They don't. I don't think they just kind of enjoying the show. You did pick up a few subscribers, though. I dropped the link in the chat. So
hey, appreciate that, Twitchers. I really do. If you guys are having audio issues, apparently we sound good on YouTube, though. You can hop over there and check us out. If anybody has anything, Caleb, just shout it out. I'm here for it. Let's see. I wanted to wrap us up with one thing. Dadgummit, I have lost it. No, I haven't. It's what was your record this past season, Dargan?
With the bowl game, we were 9-4.
9-4. Okay, and one of the 4 was a last-second loss versus Ole Miss, where you guys decided to go for 2, right?
Yes.
And it didn't pay off, and so that game was it could have. You know, and then here you got Ole Miss winning 10 games for the first time in school history or whatever, so, and that could have been the other way, you know.
So Pittman got a lot of flack for that decision, in my opinion, there is no way we're walking out of that stadium with a win without hitting multiple 2-point conversions.
You're probably right.
If we don't hit that one, we have to hit more later.
Yeah, you're probably right.
So it makes no sense to me to criticize him for saying, okay, we're going to take our best 2-point conversion play and run it now instead of in the first overtime or the second.
I mean, I frankly loved it. I like the call, I like the gutsiness of it and the assuredness of it. You know, when it was there was no hemming and hawing. The man said 2. You know what I mean? And we're going to go for it. It was decided. You know, and so you got to love the guy for that. So even what the outcome, you know, be damned. You know, the man said 2, and we rode with that. You know,
he made his call and we went for it. And you know, it doesn't always bounce your way. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm just dying to talk with you guys about the expectations. So we're gonna go ahead and get to that right after this.
All right.
Okay. Hey everybody, welcome back to Behind the Hedges. I'm your host Mitch, and I'm talking with Dargan and Caleb tonight, and we're talking Arkansas's upcoming season. And we're about to get in what I've been dying for, and that is the expectations. So let's do it.
I wake up every minute with the fever dreams. I push my mind to a limit where it needs to be. I work blind, got vision I don't need to see. I'm picking mind over matter, I believe in me. I need to find more hours in the day to breathe. Need to find more power in the way I be.
Where's the head bob, Caleb? Where's it at?
I was doing it, man. I didn't want Patrick to see me again and call me out. I was trying to subtly do it.
That's lame, dude. You can see me in a little preview window down there, just like the little dancing baby on Murphy Brown. There's a reference for you.
I'm glad you're the only one that can hear me when we're backstage, because I might bust out my own freestyle one of these days. It's gonna be crazy.
I hear you. All right, so this is the thing I've been dying for. When I had Tidwell on last time, and we were talking about Auburn and Harsin and things like that, we actually did this show out of order. We started with expectations and approval rating, and I asked him. You guys watch Josh Pate? You watch Late Kick with Josh Pate?
I have a couple times.
Yeah, well, the thing is if you're not watching it, you're doing it wrong. You need to go watch the show. That's your free plug, Josh. So whenever you want to tweet us out, go for it. But the dude does quality work. All right. And he had this question on his show the other day, and it was about SEC coach approval ratings, like by their, constituent fan base. And he said, the question was, if I told you to name the coach with the lowest approval rating, he said almost anybody would arrive at Harsin instantly. He said, but if I told you to name the 3 lowest approval ratings, where do you go after Harsin? And we could sit here and hem and haw and argue and all that about that all night long, but that's not the real question. The real question is on the other end of the spectrum. 3 biggest approval ratings.
Yeah.
I think that the casual observer, and even some of our not so casual observers, would arrive at Smart and Saban pretty quickly.
Sure.
But I think that they're wrong. I think that number 1 is absolutely Sam Pittman. And I mean, I challenge someone to wander the streets of Arkansas and find me a person who would talk trash about the pit boss. You know what I mean? That person just doesn't exist.
They don't. I mean, there was one person on one of the Hogs boards that was griping about our recruiting class being like, 10th in the SEC or 11th, depending on who you ask. They're like, that's not going to get it done. Everybody was like, dude, just watch the product on the field and tell me if it's better than it was before. And, there is absolutely no comparison. I mean, I don't think people realize outside of Arkansas how bad it got, right?
Yeah.
I don't think, other than Vandy, there has not been a team in the SEC that was the worst team in major college football.
Oh, yeah. We're not talking about the worst team in the conference.
Yeah.
We're talking about like North Texas is doing tricks on you.
Right. We were the worst Power 5 team out there.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
Kansas and Rutgers would have run up the score on us.
Yeah. Jesus.
And Western Kentucky did.
Right.
I mean, this was it was just over. And we were the worst team in the country. And then, you know, it turned around just like that because, you know, he finally got, somebody said in the chat earlier, he just had people believing in winning. And, you know, it's an amazing thing.
Yeah. So I want to remember that 9-4 was what was on the table last season.
Mm-hmm.
I want to take a look at this upcoming schedule here, and let's try to arrive at some sort of basement and ceiling for expectations. All right. So let's take them in chunks of 3. How's that? All right. So first 3 games, Cincinnati, great opener, by the way, great opener. At Fayetteville. So, you know, you got them there. And then another home game. Actually, the first 3 games are all home games. So you got Cincinnati, South Carolina, and Missouri State. All right. Can you talk about those teams as a group, as a chunk?
Sure. So Cincinnati, like we said, was a very good team the last couple of years. They lost a lot of people, and we're going to see where they stand as a program and where we stand as a program. You know, if Desmond Ridder were coming back and KJ were graduating, I'd probably pick Cincinnati.
Mm-hmm.
But, you know, KJ's back, Desmond Ridder left. I think we can win that game if we, you know, bring what we need to. So I'm going to say we'll probably win that one. South Carolina.
Does the win give you more momentum than the average season opener?
Oh yeah. Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
You know,
so the fuse is lit.
Rice is not the same as opening with Cincinnati.
Right. Sure.
South Carolina. What's interesting about that game is, you know, 2/3 of the offense on the South Carolina side may be Oklahoma transfers. If Jaden Hazelwood does what he can, you know, we may do the same. So that will be interesting. There'll be at least, I think South Carolina will have 2 or 3 starters who transferred from Oklahoma. We'll have at least one.
Yeah, Stogner, Austin Stogner's there too.
Yep. And so, I mean, I think we're ahead of where South Carolina is. You know, it's 2 teams that are, I think, on the way up. But I think we're ahead of them, and it's at home. I think we have a good shot in that game as well.
Okay. So I'm assuming you like your chances against Missouri State also.
Well, what's interesting about this Missouri State game, you know, normally it wouldn't be worth even really mentioning, but there happens to be a fella coaching at Missouri State who, you know, maybe somebody should give him a motorcycle again. His name is Bobby Petrino.
Yeah.
And so I think, look, that team and Bobby are going to be motivated as hell to come in and try to make some noise in Fayetteville.
Yeah.
I don't think they'll be able to, but, you know, that's not your average one AA game, right?
Sure.
Or, sorry, FCS. Because that's the second best team in that conference after North Dakota State. That they're not a terrible team.
Right.
But that said, we absolutely
they're not Arkansas.
Yeah.
And so, but you start the season with 3 quality opponents, but quality opponents that you should beat. So we're looking 3-0, and then you come into the next quarter of your schedule with Texas A&M at their place, Alabama at your place.
Texas A&M is at Jerry World.
Oh, right. I see now. It just says, I just was looking at Texas underneath.
Yeah,
right. Arlington.
Right.
Yeah. A neutral site. Is that what this is?
We seem to do fairly well there.
Okay. So, did you guys play them there last year?
Yes.
Okay.
We essentially play them there every year. It's the Southwest Classic. Okay. That is apparently going to rotate between them and Texas in the future when or Jerry Jones has said he wants it to. So that will be interesting. I don't think A&M will like that very much. A&M will probably make us come to Kyle Field if we ever try to put Texas in the Southwest Classic. Actually, given the way that works. So I think A&M is a toss-up game. On the whole, they're more talented than we are, just barely. But we don't know who their quarterback's going to be, or if we do, he hadn't had any experience with them.
Yeah, I think the MO for Texas or A&M is going to be very talented, not much experience. I think that's that's kind of it, right? So are your older, saltier, more seasoned guys going to be able to, fend off the whippersnappers?
Right.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I think that's a toss-up game. It makes a difference that we get to call that a road game. We don't have to go to Kyle Field. But, then, if we beat Alabama, that's gravy. I mean, hey, I think they came to Fayetteville. It was Bielema's last year. They came to Fayetteville and we dropped a pass in the end zone that would have beat them. So, it's possible. The other thing I was going to say about that is we knew that things had changed in '98 when Bama came in. I think it was the first or second SEC game, and we beat them 42-6. And Anthony Lucas had 3 touchdowns, 3 receiving touchdowns, and because they decided they were going to make Sterner pass, and
so he did.
Yeah, and the thing about Clint Sterner is, he wasn't going to win any awards for being able to get out of the way of anything, but he could throw the ball.
Yeah. So out of this stretch with A&M, Alabama, Mississippi State, what is your honest opinion here? What's your record out of these 3 games?
I think we got to win one of them. And Mississippi State is the most likely, but at Mississippi State has not been the easiest place for us to play either. So like I say, we got to win one of them because I think we'll lose way too much. Brandon,
he must have missed the earlier part of the show.
He did. So I think we win. I think we win one of them. I think we lose some of the momentum, but I think we do win one of these, which gets us to what, 4-2?
Yeah, halfway through 4-2. Okay. So look at the next 3: BYU, Auburn, and Liberty. Man.
So we're going out to Provo. Who the hell made that decision?
It's like you get all those home games at the start of the season, you got to go to Provo.
I guess that's it. I don't know what to think of BYU. I haven't watched them a whole lot. But that is traditionally a fairly tough place to play. And I mean, should we beat BYU? Of course we should.
Yeah, I think we should.
It's
but looking at this stretch of 3, if you drop one of those games, would you be shocked?
No, not really. And I think BYU is the most likely one we drop, actually.
Okay. I actually like you to go 3-0 in that stretch, but if you drop one, it's not a shock.
I would say something about BYU real quick. One thing, that game is going to be probably at 1:00 Eastern time, midnight Central. But I know y'all, Mitch may be familiar with TT Barber from
Oh,
Miller County.
Oh yeah, I know
He said that BYU was the toughest stadium he ever played at, which he went in Middle Tennessee State. You know, they ain't Arkansas, but he said that was the toughest place he had to play. He said it was louder than you would expect. He said it was louder than Alabama.
Really?
Which is
Yeah,
crazy.
It's also at like 6,500 feet, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're from the East Coast and you've never been that high,
it's hard to run around in that sort of altitude. Yeah.
Yeah.
So anyway.
And then Liberty with Hugh Freeze, I think their quarterback that was apparently so good has moved on, so that's good.
Yep, he's in the draft this year, so they stand to take a step back. They will probably be quality, but not as good as Cincinnati. You know, not on that level.
Sure.
So,
and probably not as good as BYU.
In fact, I might even say BYU might not even be as good as Cincinnati, but who knows?
Yep.
That I think that this is a very winnable stretch of 3 games. And I think that
if we pull them all, we'll be 7-2 at that point.
Correct. Yes. All right.
Yep.
So let's assume 7-2 because that's best case scenario, and then go into the the last stretch of 3 here with LSU, Ole Miss, and Missouri. All right. Make the obvious call here. Missouri, I think, is a win for Arkansas.
I think so. I should tell folks the story of, like I said, in 2019, we were the worst team in major college football. I don't live in Arkansas, by the way, guys. I live in Alabama.
Mm-hmm.
And so I am approximately 700 miles away from Columbia, Missouri. And so my lovely wife, Christy, and I drove to Columbia to watch this game in 40-degree sleet. And there are several Mizzou fans in Columbia who will remember the people that drove 700 miles to watch the worst team in major college football.
And sit in the frozen rain.
Yes. Nice. So if anybody has any doubts about my commitment to Arkansas football,
this is the guy. This is the guy right here. Yeah. So I want to actually save Ole Miss for last because that's kind of the game that I'm excited for. LSU here.
Lord, who knows what LSU is going to look like?
Are they? I mean, obviously they're losing some, they're gaining some. They got Brian Kelly coming in, and it's who knows what it's going to be. We will see, right?
Yeah.
But there's a lot of how should I say? There are a lot of question marks around LSU, and I don't find as many question marks around Arkansas. So I
think that's a winnable game, absolutely, and probably one that we should be favored in.
Yeah, I would pick you guys on paper right now. I'd lay my dollar down on the Pigs right now. Mm-hmm. So I'm going to assume that, again, best case scenario, you get a win there, you get a win in Missouri, and now this Ole Miss game.
So okay, first of all, it's in Fayetteville, so you know that's one. Or is it in Little Rock actually?
No, it says Fayetteville here on the schedule.
I'm pretty sure it's in Fayetteville. I think Liberty may be the Little Rock game. Which don't get me started on.
Bear in mind before we even talk about this, with 11 games decided by us, you guys have a best case 9-2 record.
Pretty good. So we could be going for double-digit wins here,
right? Against Ole Miss.
Against Ole Miss, and so I think a lot of it may come down to who replaces what's the Ole Miss quarterback? Matt
Corral.
Matt Corral, yeah.
So it looks like a Jackson Dart, right? Isn't Jackson Dart the odds-on favorite?
So that
I think Jackson Dart was heading over there.
Okay. That will be interesting. They'll be prolific on offense, I think.
Yes.
I think we will too. I think it's going to look not too different than the way it looked at Oxford.
Agreed.
Maybe this time we'll make the 2-pointer at the end. Or maybe we'll stop them instead. Look, it's going to be a close game. It's going to be a shootout. Maybe they had a slight advantage at quarterback this year with with Corral having a lot of experience, Jefferson will have a lot of experience by that time next year.
Yeah, I just looked up their transfer portal. Yeah, Jackson Dart is coming in from USC.
Yep.
5-star, 9,900 rated player. So no slouch at all.
Right.
He's the kind of player that Kiffin wants.
Oh yeah. And yeah, like I say, they'll be a prolific offense.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how good their defense will be. But yeah, it's going to be. I think that's a complete toss-up game. It's been a toss-up game for even when we were terrible. It was a toss-up game because they were terrible too.
It's a game I'm frankly looking forward to. So here we are. We're sitting on 9-2. If you guys win this one on the 2-point conversion at the end, then you're looking at 10-2. And is it fair to say Arkansas' ceiling is 10-2? What do you think, Caleb?
I think our ceiling is 11-1. Actually,
you think so?
Yep. Because I think we could beat both A&M. I think we had 2 losses in that A&M and Mississippi State and Bama stretch. We could win 2 of those.
Yeah. I'm calling Alabama a loss, and I'm calling A&M and Ole Miss half losses.
Okay.
And so I'm saying that you guys pick up a second loss in the aggregate, and so it's going to come from somewhere. I'm not sure where, but the likely suspects will be, here, and here.
Right.
As far as floor is concerned, or basement is concerned, geez, man, I don't know. This is where Caleb always snaps at me when I say this, because I always overshoot everybody's basement.
I think
I'm ruthless when it comes to it. I gotta keep people all the way down. But honestly, thinking my opinion on Arkansas, I don't think they go worse than 8-4.
Damn, I was gonna say 7-5. Okay, so
look
at you.
It's conceivable that we lose to both Cincinnati and BYU, and that's the only way we go 7-5.
Okay, right. That's what I'm saying. That's a bargain basement result, right?
Yeah.
So let me ask you this one: what is your least acceptable result?
Honestly, I would like to at least do what we did this past year, which was 8-4. But we could win. We can't lose to Bobby Petrino.
Okay.
That's number one. Okay. We cannot lose to Bobby Petrino. I would really like to not lose to Hugh Freeze as well. So we win those 2. Honestly, look, Pittman's not getting fired this year.
No.
There's no way. But that doesn't mean we'll accept 3 or 4 wins. It just means we'll be like, dude, you got to do better.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, if we go to another bowl game, I will still think we're headed in the right direction, even if we're 6-6.
Wow. Okay. All right. I'm going to just go on the record. I think the best Arky team is going to be 10-2, and I think that I'll stick with 7-5. But bottom, basement right here. This involves losing some games you shouldn't, and also KJ gets hurt and stuff like that. You know what I mean? Like it goes completely off the rails. 7-5. So the most likely scenario is going to be somewhere between that 7 and that 10.
Mm-hmm.
If I told you right now that you were going to wake up in January and your record was going to be 8-4, same as last year, but you're going to have a win against Kiffin and a win against Petrino, and let's say a 1-score loss to Bama and A&M.
Fair enough.
Would you just be all right with that? That would be good. You'd be happy.
Yes, I would absolutely be happy with that. Now, that doesn't mean that I'm going to just not root for us to win every game, obviously. Mm-hmm. But, if we do the same thing we did this year, I think that the typical Arkansas fan will be just as happy.
Okay. How about it, Caleb? What you got, man? I want to hear your prediction. What are the Hogs going to do next year?
9-3. I don't know why. I have a weird intuition that LSU is going to be better than people think. I think LSU is going to be one that sneaks up on it. I don't know why. I guess it's because Brian Kelly likes to do whatever he does with his recruits. So we ain't going to get into all of that. But that little Houdini dance he does with them, I don't know, man.
It was the Uma Thurman, man, and
the Uma Thurman, whatever. I don't know, whatever. But I don't know, man. I'm more high on LSU than especially now they got Jaden Daniels. I love Jaden Daniels.
Okay,
I'm a little more high on LSU than the average person. So 9-3 is my final Arkansas guess.
Okay, sounds good. Hey boys, thanks for doing this with us. Y'all stick around for the after party. As for the rest of you, we'll see you next time. So your Twitch stream still can't hear us?
I don't know, but they over here, they're still singing karaoke. They're talking about another game going on in my league, and one of them said, "Go Dogs, 37-0. We're smoking pork chops over here." That's I'm gonna have that. I'm gonna have it figured out next week. I don't know why. I'm gonna go back and listen to it and watch it, but we'll have it figured out next week. But
man, I'm gonna be really bummed if we missed the audio on the Ducati clip at the beginning of the show.
Yeah.
I'll be sad. All right.
It never dipped under 6, so that's pretty good for me in Twitch. So because I'm new to Twitch,
right.
So that you had a pretty good day on Twitch.
Cool.
Oh.
I wonder if this is let me see if I got something for you guys. Nope, is that it? Yeah, here it is.
When y'all get to be big stars, Mitch, you gotta promote my book for me.
Oh, absolutely. Hey, you people out there listening, you 4 folks who are watching the show right now. Dargan wrote this book. Actually, you've written a couple books now, right?
Couple of books, yep.
So, but there's this one, the Legend of Colgan Toomey. It's on. You can probably find it on Amazon. Yep. Go buy it. Support your local hogs. Check this out. I found a thing. So I have a question, Rohan, and this is a straight up question. I want you to think about this for a second. What will you say around 3:30 on Saturday when the score is 42-3?
I doubt it, but
I know you doubt it right now. But I'm saying, what will you say on Saturday when that's the score?
Hey, like you said, I can do it tip my hat.
Okay.
I'm with Rohan on this, and I'm confident, but I'm not overconfident. If something like that happens, y'all might not be able to be around me no more. I might become obnoxious.
Become obnoxious, huh?
Yes. Just remember, it happened here.
Yep.
Speaking of Rohan, quick update. I don't know if you heard this or not, Dargan, but Rohan left Bainbridge High School, where he was a defensive backs coach, and he is now a grad assistant for Jimbo Fisher.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, he actually Nick Williams, who was one of Rohan's teammates who played at Georgia, and is now recruiting for what is Nick doing? He's doing defensive backs. He corners, maybe something like that. Anyway, he's a recruiter for God. He hammers South Georgia, North Florida, man. He's really good in that area, and he basically talked Rohan up to Jimbo and the staff, and they said, "We'll bring him on. We'll bring him on as a grad assistant, and when he finishes up his degree,
nice,
get him on the staff." So I think that's super great, and go buddy. I did chat with him recently and say, if you ever have time for us, we'd love to chat with you. And he's always so gracious, and just an A+ guy.
Oh, absolutely.
So I'd love to have him back around. But I'll tell you this: when Jimbo left Tallahassee, that man left with a chip on his shoulder, and he said, "The Seminoles will never, ever get another blue chipper as long as I have my say."
Him and Deion Sanders have their say.
Bro, let me tell you, freaking Jimbo has salted the earth around Tallahassee. They will never see it. So,
well, they also lost their top recruit to Deion Sanders.
Exactly, and not that they lose everybody. So it's like look at look at I mean, he's just building walls around Tallahassee, layers. Like he's like already taking over South Georgia. So it's like, even though it's hurting Georgia in a sense, I know what Rohan's about. I know what Nick Williams is about. I know what Jimbo is about, right?
Yeah.
And he brought those guys on to his staff and shut the door and said, "Now listen here." You know what I mean? It's like nobody goes to Tallahassee, and thus far nobody has.
Yeah.
So we'll see. That was a really ugly thing, man. I remember when Heather was working down there, man, and there was, well, it's just, there was a lot that went on around old Jimbo down there, and he said, "You know what? Fine. You guys don't want to play ball with me. Watch this." And he pulled the damn plug, and that program flatlined, brother.
Yep.
And it is.
So have you heard my theory about what Deion Sanders is really up to?
I'd love to hear it. Let's hear it.
Okay, so what I think he's really up to is he's going to get himself 3 or 4 great players, and the next time he gets an interview with a major school, he's going to say, "All right, it's a package deal. These guys are transferring with me."
I mean,
dare
possibly.
the NCAA to do something about it.
Yeah, I mean, it could happen. It's like the old what was that? Any Given Sunday thing when Al Pacino left and took Jamie Foxx with him. So I mean, it's possible, but I kind of like the other side of things. Like, what if Deion just uses his platform, his fame, to sort of as sort of a built-in NIL deal. He's doing commercials with Nick Saban, by God. So like,
right.
You come play for me, and I'll put you in some commercials. And he has. Did you see the commercial that had Shedeur Sanders in it?
I did not.
It was he and Deion, and they're arguing about I don't know. They were like shooting free throws. Anything you can do, I can do better type stuff, right? And then they sit down to have some product, whatever it is they're eating, And I really don't remember. And the mom comes in and she's like, "Oh yeah, but I'm the best cook," or whatever in the something along those lines or whatever. And I was like, man, that dude put his son on TV, And it even had like Shedeur Sanders and a college football player, like in small and fine print underneath. I was like, see, here he goes. What if he just uses this platform and starts propping up his players? I mean, obviously, when Travis Hunter gets there, he's going to be the story everybody wants to talk about. Put him on camera, Put some of these other HBCUs on camera,
I would love to see, him turn Jackson State into even a 1AA power.
Sure.
I don't know that Deion's ever been about anything but Deion.
Maybe not.
But he will have to prove it to me to make me believe it.
Understand all and fair point, but allow the man an opportunity. Maybe maybe he will. So
maybe he will.
We'll see. I sure do love it. I love it.
Oh, yeah.
And at least it's not hurting Georgia directly, so I can love it still.
We will probably go to a Jackson State game this year just to check it out.
Just to see Deion push around on his little scooter. Roger that, man. Roger that. Well, hey boys, we're closing in on the hour mark, so I'm gonna start wrapping it up. If there's anybody with any questions in the comments or whatever, man, thank you all for joining us tonight. Caleb, thank you for sending the signal up for us, and Tidwell and Brandon and DGD and Oliver and all you guys in the background who have been pumping us up this week, man. Dude, I'm muchas gracias, right? Like, I'm so very thankful for all of this. And we are on Twitter, Twitch, Twitch, thanks to Caleb. Man, I need to actually look at some Twitch. I couldn't even tell you anything at all about it. I do want to put something here in the comments. So let me put this here. There it is. Okay. So we have this Linktree thing now, and it has all of our platforms on there. It even has our buddy KTG's. I think it's got your Facebook page in there. We added Shelby's SEC Biased podcast to that, and we also added the DGD podcast. So it's like these folks who support us, we're going to support them. So thank you all so very much for that. I'm enjoying doing the things that we're doing here on the channel, and people are starting to notice it. So that's good. Dargan, as always, thank you for coming on the show. You are the MVP in perpetuity. Caleb, as always, it's been fun. You guys have any stellar last words before I send this on the way?
Nice to meet you, Caleb. I don't think we've run across each other before, but I've had fun, and go Hogs.
Woo Pig Suey. And with that,
Pig Suey.
we out.